And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Keith Kuntz. 2 years ago at this time, most of us were watching the weather and hoping for the best, but it turned out to be a worst-case scenario when Superstorm Sandy roared up the East Coast. News 8's Ken Pierce live in East Haven this noon at a location that really took a beating in that big storm. Ken.
Yeah, Keith, we were at the Shoreline Trolley Museum. Some much nicer weather today than it was 2 years ago. Certainly a beautiful day to take a ride in that very trolley car right back there, which is what we just did. But the Trolley Museum has really struggled to try to come back after Superstorm Sandy 2 years ago. And really, Sandy was just the second half of a 1-2 punch, because remember, in 2011, we had Tropical Storm Irene. That put a lot of the trolley tracks and a lot of the trolley cars at the museum underwater, and then a year later came Sandy. Before Irene, more than half of the trolley cars they had here could run under their own power. They had 56 trolley cars that could operate fully. After Irene came through, they only had 3 that could still run under their own power. They got some of those repaired in between the storms. Then came along Sandy in 2012. They have 12 cars that are running right now, and one of the reasons that it's been so slow to bounce back is because the federal disaster relief money from Sandy has been so slow to arrive.
It was devastating to us, but we are making progress. We have received some money from FEMA to help cover the Hurricane Irene damage. We are waiting for the Hurricane Sandy funding to come through. FEMA is still reviewing our request. It's been 2 years now. We're very anxious to get this work underway.
Some of the work that is underway is to prepare for the next storm. And yes, they know there is probably going to be a next storm. What they're doing is they're constructing a couple of big new buildings that are 14.5 feet above sea level. When they're completed, they'll be able to house about 2/3 of the trolley car museum's trolley cars, get them out of the elements and above floodwaters when that next storm hits, because they don't want to have to do what they did a couple of years ago. To protect a couple of the cars from Sandy, they actually took cars like this, drove them off the end of the trolley tracks right here, because this is the highest point in the museum property, drove them out onto the streets of East Haven to keep them high and dry away from the floodwaters. Yeah, I didn't know they could do that either, but they did, and it's a stunt they'd really rather not try to repeat in the future. Live in East Haven at the Shoreline Trolley Museum, I'm Kent Pierce. Keith, back to you.